in the reaction, all unannounced Marvel projects confirmed and rumored. Let's take a look, see what everything wants to say about this and check it out.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Though it may feel like things are winding down as we head in towards the end of the year, Wakanda Forever is finally out this Friday, and then the last thing on the calendar between now and February is Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special on November 25th. But once we hit February of next year, it's going to pick up and not stop for the following 5 months. We'll get Quantumania, Secret Invasion, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Marvels, and Loki Season 2, again, all between February and July. And although, unfortunately, Echo may be pushed back and delayed due to some production issues per some reports that came since D23 and San Diego Comic-Con, the confirmations at those two Marvel presentations were more than we thought we'd get. However, they still left huge gaps in the schedule, and there have been enough reports on several projects at this point to leave them in the confirmed column without having Marvel officially announce them, like Wonder Man, and some projects still left in the rumor column, like World War Hulk. We're going to go down the exhaustive list of more than 10 plus properties and franchises rumored to be coming out by Marvel. Some of them, again, confirmed, but have not been announced yet, and if they have a place on the slate between now and the end of Phase 6, the multiversal saga, we'll go ahead and slate them in their most likely slot. We're breaking down all of the rumored and confirmed projects that have yet to be officially announced by Marvel Studios in this, the first of a two-part video series. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews, to the occasional industry insider report, and everything in between. So, if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. If you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so moments ago with the prologue, when I said there were 10 plus properties, both for Disney Plus and the silver screen, it's actually 16. And we're going to separate those into two groups, starting with that which is confirmed, then moving into rumor territory. I'll make sure to note the difference. Also, because this list ended up being twice as long as I thought it was, I'm actually going to split this into two videos. This is part 1. Tomorrow, part 2 will release. I'll make sure to link them in the comments to each other, no matter when you're finding this video, in case you want to find the other one. Now, if you're saying to yourself, but hey, Allfires, if Marvel hasn't confirmed these, how are they confirmed in the first place? It's the culmination of reports. Industry insiders leading way to Hollywood trades, reporting on the actors that are being cast, the filing of the pre-production LLC. There's a ton of stuff coming together, and you can assume that this stuff is as good as confirmed to come out. And that's exactly where we'll start today, with the news originally breaking on June 16th that Marvel would be developing a Wonder Man series with Destin Daniel Cretton, and that Andrew Guest would be tapped to write the series. And obviously news about that show absolutely exploded earlier this week when it was confirmed Yahya Abdul-Mateen II would be taking the lead role as Wonder Man. It's since been rumored that Bob Odenkirk, that's right, Saul Goodman joining the MCU, could find a role on the series. And the two other confirmations we've had is that Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi, will at least direct one of the episodes in the series, and that Ben Kingsley's Trevor Slattery, who we saw in Shang-Chi and originally during the Infinity Saga and the Iron Man movies, will be returning for the series as well. Given the reports and the timeline, I think there's a real good chance that Wonder Man will be coming out towards the end of Phase 6, and so not this year or next in 2024, but definitely getting released in 2025 as one of the Disney Plus series that year. Now, the next film to be confirmed coming from Marvel Studios conversely might not show up before the end of the multiverse saga, and only because of how big and how long it will take to shoot. That's the Eternals sequel, or Eternals #2. Now, real recently, Vice President of Production Nate Moore on the Phase Zero podcast with my buddy Brandon Davis said something along the lines of a pseudo-confirmation, quote, "I don't want to spoil anything, but you haven't seen the last of those characters." He's really not the culprit here. The culprit is Patton Oswalt talking about his appearance in the post-credit scene alongside Harry Styles' Eros. He was definitely doing his best Tom Holland impression when he said point blank, they have announced there's going to be an Eternal sequel. Chloe Zhao is going to direct it. Nope, they didn't announce that. They hadn't announced it back then, all the way in August. They still haven't announced it now. And like I said, considering there's no confirmation or place for it on the slate, I don't anticipate it being one of the theatrical releases before the multiverse saga ends. And really, it has a lot to do with Chloe Zhao's style as a director. She absolutely insists on shooting on location as part of her cinematography and the way her films look and feel. They went with it on the first film. They're definitely going to acquiesce to that on the second, which leads to just a much longer production time. Again, with the size and scope of that film, I think it's more likely it'll come out during Phase 7 or the next saga to come. Now, while this third film has probably the lightest in terms of reporting and rumors in the industry to show up before the end of the multiverse saga, for me it's the one I put all my money on, and if I had to, in Doctor Strange 3. And it's only because outside of Loki and our introduction to Kang, he's been the character that's the most integral to any multiverse story, starting in No Way Home, following up in Multiverse of Madness, and they didn't drop Charlize Theron's Clea into the MCU not to use her during Secret Wars, as big an actress as she is. So I highly anticipate this film will come out either early 2025 or even as late as early 2026, now that they've moved to Secret Wars to spring of that year. Now, next up in the confirmed column, but jumping back over to Disney Plus, is the Marvel Nova project, which was finally confirmed by Deadline back in March of this year, written by Justin Kroll under the exclusive Marvel developing Nova project with Moon Knight scribe Sabir Prasada. Again, as I mentioned earlier in this video, while you don't get confirmations of the projects, there's just too many working pieces in the industry, too many agents, too many people know. So Nova finally confirmed by the fact that we know who's writing it, but what we don't know is exactly how and where it's going to show up. Real recently, it was rumored to have moved from a Disney Plus project to a special presentation, on the back of the reveal that Marvel Studios may look to reevaluate some of their future TV projects and prioritize the feature presentation length instead of doing 6, 9, even 18 episodes, say with Daredevil Born Again. If the story is better suited for a 1.5 hour, a 45-minute presentation, just doing it that way, which I am totally on board for. Look, I know that Disney out of the gate struggled a little bit to get their pacing down with some of these shows, but it's not all the show's fault, because I think some of these storylines are better served in different formats. Daredevil Born Again is going to get 18 episodes in a way that a Silver Surfer presentation, which we will talk about in just a second, or something like Werewolf by Night just don't need. They're much shorter stories. The other huge upside to a special presentation is if it's somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour and a half, it's literally all thriller, no filler. There's no exposition dumps, no need to fill up a whole episode and not push the narrative forward. That's literally the whole thing that's going on. So regardless of how and when it'll show up, I would find it very hard to believe they prioritized doing a Richard Rider Nova project and not working him into Secret Wars. So I suspect not only will we see this Disney Plus presentation in whichever form it takes before Secret Wars shows up so he can be involved, but that this will be announced next summer during D23 or San Diego Comic-Con. Now, the last on the list is actually a group of franchises for Disney Plus. Some titles have been thrown around we'll talk about in just a second, but of all of these projects is the earliest confirmation. This came almost a full 2 years ago on February 1st of 2021, when Deadline reported that Black Panther helmer Ryan Coogler stakes his Proximity Media banner to 5-year exclusive Disney television deal. Wakanda series in the works for Disney Plus, which has been rumored to be multiple series, not only a Wakanda spin-off series, but also something in the works for Okoye or Midnight Angels. So again, while this was the earliest chronicled, it was very public and a huge deal, and has yet to yield a project which I anticipate at least one of which will show up before the end of the multiverse saga, and for a couple of reasons. Number one, Ryan Coogler's name the first to show up tied to Secret Wars, at least rumored to be one of the directors they're looking at. Number two, if you know anything about the Black Panther, T'Challa or not, and what happens during Secret Wars, whoever is wearing the Black Panther mantle might end up becoming the main protagonist, so who better to direct that character than Ryan Coogler himself? And considering he might be doing that, why not progress some of the other characters in their storylines before that huge crossover? Regardless of when those show up, and of course the pandemic and him finishing Wakanda Forever had a lot to do with that, the moves to the slate, but regardless of when they show up, they're confirmed to come, and if they don't make it in before the multiverse saga, could be a continuation of Wakanda's story leading into Phase 7. That's where we're going to go ahead and wrap today's video. Look out for part 2 tomorrow as we continue down this list. Now quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We are still giving away PlayStation 5s, the next of which is 1 million subscribers. If you want to be entered to win or for any of the other giveaways at the channel, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below because it's truly random. The more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking out my music, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.
Yeah, please subscribe, like this video, and see you guys, bro.